Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. Here is Kathy's website if you're interested. Feel free to freeze frame if you need to, of course. Supportive Oracle cards, Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen Raish Baskin. Websites on the back here, torihartman.com. watkinspublishing.co.uk, watkinspublishing.com down here. Feel free to use whatever works best for you, of course. What do we have for Capricorn? I feel like I'm trying to start a car all of a sudden. Like it's you know when you have an older car, it's just kind of like not wanting to go, and you're trying to get it going, and you're like, I'm not giving up. You will start. It's kind of like that feeling. Kind of like, oh no, you're going to start. I'm feeling that energy. Kind of like, oh no. Yeah, no, you are going to win too. Because like, I'm just addressing this only to my own history, because I was like, I've had this attitude with a car before many, many years ago, where I was like, oh, you will start, and then the battery died. So no, it didn't start. But you, on the other hand, I feel like you're going to try to get it going. I feel like Capricorn more be like, all right, we'll start, but I can't drain the battery, so I got to give it a minute to kind of rest, and like give things a minute to rest and then try again. Capricorn also has a lot of resources. What are we talking about? Don't accept the block. Don't accept the block. So when I'm seeing this, I'm getting this analogy of trying to start the car again, right? And then I'm getting this other analogy, kind of like, it's kind of like if you're in your driveway and it's like the stupid car won't start, and it's starting to piss you off, right? So you're just kind of like, you want, and then you're like, if you just pull back for a minute, like I'm gonna let it rest for a second, and then you just take a minute to just pull your resources, list your resources. You have resources. You have other things you can do with this. It's kind of like going, wait a minute. I do have what do you call it? I don't know what you call it. It's like a jumper cable thing that you plug into the house. I don't know what you call the thing. But it's like jumper cables, but you plug it into a house. You don't hook it up to another car. That thing. So as you're like, oh, I got that. Maybe we need a little bit more power. Maybe that would help. Maybe I could do that. And then you're like, okay, wait a minute. What other? I could call somebody to come help me. I don't know if I really want to do that. And like you just start listing through your resources. I have another car. I could use actual jumper cables if I wanted to. You're like going through your resources. But then also, like, I feel like this is Capricorn 101, so I'm saying this, but I feel like you'd already have done it anyway. It's kind of like, all right, it's having an issue now. Is it because of the cold? Is it because of something else? If I get it started, can I drive it over to a shop so I can get them to put it on a machine or something to get it checked or whatever I need to do, so I don't, like, wherever I take it, I don't get stuck with it there. Pooling your resources. Don't accept the block. Because I feel like if you get really upset, you can get stuck in this like circle of like, ugh. It's just, it will start. You just kind of go in this repetitious pattern. Realize you will win, but you got to pull back, pool your resources, and like, what's going on? What's the deal? What's the problem? And also, like, I feel like you're going to do this naturally. Just jump to the next step. Like, all right, when I fix it this time, because I will, now what do I need to do to make it not be a problem going forward? Because you got workaholic, complacency. These are like messing with you. Workaholic is usually a good sign, as a good card for earth cards or earth people, earth elements, earth signs. Hello. The world, that's not the world, that is the wheel. It's just spinning. I think this is why I'm using this car analogy. I keep feeling this. It's spinning back and forth. It's spinning. We got to pull out of the complacency, and we got to pull back from the workaholic. Because if we keep trying and keep pushing and keep trying and keep pushing, it's not working. You need to pull back and use your other set of resources, your brain, and think, okay, wait a minute. What other possibilities do I have? You got to pull back, breathe, and be like, I am going to make this work. This will work, but what other ways can I go with it? I think for a lot of you, that's what this is saying, because you do have easily the resources and the intelligence to do this. But if you get really mad and really insistent, you might get tunnel vision and not see these other possibilities to help you succeed. Because that wheel is just turning back and forth and back and forth. And I just feel like when I'm seeing this complacency, especially with the red and the person on there does not look happy, it's just kind of like, this is how I have to do it. This is how I have to do it. And you're the one who decides how it's going to be done. If you pull back and like, wait, what other acceptable ways to me can I make this succeed? Because you know what I mean? You don't want to spend a day and a half trying to get a car going when you could have got it going in 20 minutes and moved on with your life. You know what I mean? You don't want to be stuck with it for a day and a half going, I keep trying and it's just not working. Because it's coming forward. There's something changing. This was face down. You easily have the intelligence to make this work. But, you know, I feel like a lot of people are like this. Once in a while I get stuck in this. I think I'm better at it, but I could be wrong. Life might prove me wrong that I've said that. Where I get frustrated and I get like just hell-bent on it's going to go this way, it's going to go this way. And then after a while I step back and go, well, wait a minute. Before I keep doing that, how else can I get the success, the outcome? The success is the outcome you actually want. Like, AKA starting the car. How else can I make that happen? You definitely have it. You definitely have all the wisdom you need to make it happen. It's just kind of like looking at the other ways to do it that will get you what you want. Because you're still going to hit your goal. Definitely. It's just not driving yourself nuts in the process. One of the ways... Okay. You got this Ace of Swords like backing you up too. This is like the completion of this. This is how you're going to get your success easier. I can give an analogy for how I've done this. I can't remember. I think it was like something... I had to figure out how to open... like I think it was the gas tank on my car, which sounds so simple. But I couldn't find that stupid little button because it wasn't... You couldn't just push it and it would open. You had to find the button inside the car. And I was like, I can't find it. So I had to go online and I had to... I literally looked it up. I don't know if I looked on YouTube or where I found it, but I just looked it up because I was so frustrated. I'm sure you'll be shocked to know it was literally right in front of my face, but I was so upset that I was so frustrated that I couldn't find it, it was right in front of me and I couldn't see it, which is, I think, maybe you can relate to this. You get so mad that the answer is right in front of you and you know it is, but you can't see it. That's the moment I had. I simply went online. I was like, it's there. There's a way to open that stupid gas tank. And I found like a couple different ways, actually. There's a way in the back of there's a way in the trunk that you can open it, and there's a way up in the front that you can open it. So once I found it, I not only found the answer I needed, but I also found a backup answer if I needed it, which was really very helpful. So it's kind of like you have the way to get these resources. It could be online. Could be a friend, could be a coworker, could be, for example, dealing with cars. You take it to the shop and you ask them and you say, can you tell me what you did and how this worked and how that worked? They might have a simple answer for you. You know what I mean? It may not be that hard. I think I did that with light bulbs too for the car. For some reason I have issues with cars. Like I fight with them a little bit and then I seem to make it work out. Like I had to change the bulb in the light, and I was just kind of like, I can do this. I just have to go buy it, and I know I can do it. And I was just hell-bent, like, I'm going to do it myself. I'm not going to go pay somebody to switch a freaking light bulb. I know I can do it. And at first I couldn't, because I just couldn't figure it out. So I think, again, I went online, and I watched somebody do it online, and I was like, yep, that's not really that hard. I was just really not doing the right thing. So I released, I think it was a clip or something. There was a certain way to release the clip, and I finally got it off, and I moved things around, and I switched the light bulb, done. And I feel like this is similar. We keep using car analogies for some reason, but it's like, it's not that hard. It's kind of like one of those things like, I know I can do this. I don't understand why I'm not able to figure it out, but I know I can do this. It's kind of like switching a light bulb in a car light. It's like, I know it's not that hard. I know I can do it. I will do it. I just got to figure out how to do it. But you get really, like, if you're like me, once in a while, usually it's with the car too for some reason, I get very frustrated and I'm like, the answer's boof, right there. It's like right there. And I'm just like, Huh? Answer? What? Answer? 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 Can't see it. I get usually when I'm losing my temper, like I'm getting ticked off, and I'm just like, ugh, right there, right in front of me, and I know it is. So that's what you're dealing with. Pulling back, and pooling your resources will solve this a lot quicker. Again, I'm sure whatever it is, you'd rather take 20 minutes doing it than a day and a half. I'm also getting like this energy of perfection and balance. Capricorn is very much from what I understand of Capricorn and from the Capricorns I know, they're a stickler about you do it right, and you do it right the first time. But you define what this is, because you're also realistic about how things can work out. Be careful about comparing yourself to other people, especially if you have a friend or a relative that's a mechanic, for example. We're going to use the same situation. Don't make their perfection your perfection. Like if somebody constantly works with cars, and maybe you're an office worker, like I used to be, you're constantly working in the office, doing this in the office, doing like maybe that's your forte. If you aren't like really rehearsed in cars, and you don't constantly fix them, constantly deal with them, constantly deal with this, constantly deal with that, but the person you're comparing yourself to does, don't make their level of perfection your level of perfection. Be careful of that. That's unrealistic. And I feel like you know that, but you might get trapped in it. If you just kind of like step back and go, wait a minute. They've done that for years. They make a living at it. They do it day in and day out. They know things that I will never know, that I never probably even want to know. Don't make their standard of excellence your standard of excellence. That's not right. You know what I mean? And I realize you know that, but like you might put yourself in that category. Like, well, they are able to do it in 5 seconds. I should be able to do it pretty quick too. Doesn't look like it's that hard for someone who has done it their whole life. Yeah, it's not very hard for them. You have other things you do. It's not the only thing you do. Just remember, just like step back and realize that if you're doing that to yourself, if you're setting this standard, and like for example, if you're like have somebody who has a PhD in calculus, and you're like, well, they seem to work out these math problems like that, like I should be able to do it. They're like not for nothing. If they have all that knowledge, like if that's a better comparison for you, if you're like, well, I had some math in college, but I didn't like go crazy with it. This person has a PhD in math. That's a whole different level. Like don't make their standard your standard, because that's just not your forte. You have other things that are your forte. You know what I mean? Is there anything else? Yeah. Because people will willingly help you. They'll give you the information. Just remember who they are and what they do every day, day in and day out. Especially if it's one of those people who maybe, we're going to use the car analogy again, maybe they don't fix cars all the time, but they are crazy about cars. They're car enthusiasts. They like to go to car shows. They help other people fix their cars. They just love it. They love it. They love it. They love it. They don't do it for a living. Maybe they do the same thing you do for a living, but they are a car enthusiast. And you're just not. You're just like, yeah, it gets me from here to there. Woohoo, I'm happy. I like the ones that are good looking. They're nice cars. I like them when they drive nice. I like them when they have a good sound system. That's great. But you're not the car enthusiast. Don't make, like, just because they're a car enthusiast, you may think it's not that much, but people like that pick up information. They know things. They get excited about things. Don't make their level your level. That's the same type of thing. Like if they're a car enthusiast and they're really good with cars, and you just are like, yeah, they're okay. I mean, no one gets excited about them. Don't make their level of excellence your level of excellence, because they're very rehearsed in it. Just remember that. Are we good? Yeah, because you're going to have success with this. I feel like they're just kind of reminding you to look at yourself and make sure you're not putting too much pressure on yourself that's really not appropriate. I really think for the Capricorns that are really going to connect with this, once you realize you're doing that to yourself, you're going to be like, no, wait a minute, no, that doesn't make sense. And you'll kind of pull it back and go, that's them, this is me, I can change light bulbs, you know, I can figure out how to open the gas tank. So, limit achieved. I can open the glove box too. Yay, we're all set now. But, you know, just keep that in mind. Are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.